Hey everybody, welcome. It is week 1 in ENG110, and my name is Jackie Pierce. Hopefully you've already met me by watching the welcome video that I already posted. But I wanted to touch base with you here early in week 1 to kind of remind you of what's going on, where we are. Every single week, I'll be doing a video at the beginning of the week. Typically, it's going to be posted on Sunday night, maybe Monday morning, but usually Sunday night. It's going to walk you through everything that you need to do for that particular week. I like to call them my weekly walkthrough videos, and I really, really, really encourage you to watch those before you even worry about doing any of the work for the week, because in them, I'm going to go through kind of what you need to do, remind you of where the reading assignments are, all the fun stuff that you will need to succeed in the course. So in doing that, I will always be sharing my screen, and you will see on the screen with me the course. This is the announcements page, which is also how Post has it set up to where that's the home page when you first log in. That I like because it reminds you that there are announcements. Sometimes if there's just an announcements link over here on the left, people forget about them and do not watch them or read them in the case of just a text-based one. You'll get announcements every week at the beginning of the week, and usually again at least once during the week. So please check them out. They're there for a reason. Those will also, by the way, you will get notified of those in your post student email. And if it is not something that you have already made a habit, I would really, really encourage you to do at least once daily checks of your student email. A lot of people have more than one email that they use, and I understand it can be annoying to have to check multiple places, but essentially think of your time as a student as being your time at a job. And so if your workplace had an email system, you would check it every day, right? Because it's your job. So think of it that way. And I know that there are certain ways that you can get all of your emails kind of consolidated. I do have every email that I have to look at through Outlook on my phone, because I find that if I see them there, I will definitely take notice of them. So do what's helpful to you, but make sure you're checking your post-student email regularly. In each week, you have a division, right? So units 1 through 8, and then over here on the left, you see units 1 through 8, and you have the discussions link at the bottom. I want to click on discussions first because I want to point out to you that you have a link to a chat called Ask the Instructor. This is a great forum. I'm going to click on it. There's nothing in it yet, but if you have a question about an example, about a test, about a question, about the essay that you're writing, whatever the case may be, you can post it here and I will reply to it. Your fellow students may reply to it. You also can click the subscribe button, and I highly recommend that you do that. Every time somebody posts, whether it's me or one of your fellow students, you will get an email. And this can be helpful because sometimes a fellow learner will ask a question that you haven't even thought of yet. Now, when you want to post a question, you click the Create Thread button. And let's say I'm going to ask a question that I got by email because I think this was a cool question. So you name your thing something in the subject line, and then you would write out your question in the body. Now you can make this pretty fancy. You can change the fonts, you can change the size, you can change the color. There's all kinds of things you can do, but most of the time we just have plain text in here. I will remind you that this is a public forum. I mean, it's only for the class, but everybody can read it. So you do want to spend some extra time, maybe making sure that your grammar's proper, that you're capitalizing letters properly, that sort of stuff. So let me type in a question here. And you don't even have to sign it or anything, although usually when I'm typing in discussion boards, I will throw in initials at least, but it'll show who posted it. So no big deal if you forget. And then you click submit. Now, what happens then is I, as the instructor, will see this. I will come in here and I will answer it. Now, I'm going to answer it because I'm already in here. So we're going to hit reply. And you can put in emojis. I do love a good emoji. And click submit. So the same thing happens. You can come in here and you can respond to your fellow classmates as well. There is a discussion that is in all the courses called hallway chat. This is just for fun, but you can feel free to talk to each other, share information, that sort of thing. And you'll notice the only discussion board assignment that's showing right now is the Unit 1, because of course that's where we are. The weeks get released as they come up. So let's take a look at Unit 1. You do not want to just come in and try to do the introduction assignment without doing the work. I like to call it learn before you earn. So you need to learn the materials and then earn the points. So if you click on Unit 1, you will see every unit kind of has the same setup. You will have a page that talks about the objectives for this week, and kind of a list of the activities that you're going to do. I'm not going to read these to you, but you should be reading them each and every time. Even though as you go through a course, sometimes it gets a little repetitive to read, oh, what are the objectives? But I promise you, this is important information. Really important information is to open this folder. So you notice that this just shows a little piece of paper. So everything you need for this is on this page, but this is a folder. So a folder needs to be opened. So we click on the title, and this is where you will always find your reading assignments and any videos that will help you with this week's materials, other than my videos, of course, but any videos produced by Post that are helpful. So in this week, we're going to be learning about personal writing, specifically using description and narration. So sensory details and storytelling. You've got 2 reading assignments that are here. You can click on this. It will take you to where you need to read. You want to read both of those. Under understanding the assignment, you have 2 more little sections to read. You have an activity and you have a video. So you want to each week go through all of these materials before you start the assignments. Next up is learning about APA formatting. And of course, that was the question that I'd already had. This is literally what it says. It is a template. This is something that you can open up and save on your computer and use it to create all of your writing assignments. So it already has the cover page on it. It has the document itself starting on page 2, and then it has a references page. Now, For this first assignment, you won't need the references page. So if you're using the template for that, you can just get rid of that. But I would save the template the way it is on your computer. And then as you make changes to it, you can save as and call it something new so that you always have that original template to go back to. Now, if you don't do that, you can always come back to Unit 1 and pick up the template again. But it's kind of nice to have that in place. You have a link here that shows you how to submit your assignments on Blackboard, and I'm going to show you that. But there's two things here to help you with that. And then you have a TED Talk to watch. Once you have done that, go back to the unit and you have your 2 assignments. So the first one, of course, is the discussion board that we just saw. The Unit 1 discussion board is a self-introduction. It's going to be 2 paragraphs long. Read the instructions. That is the most important part. I will go over the instructions, but please, 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 as you're doing your assignments, make sure you're always going back and reading the assignment instructions. So in the first paragraph, you're going to introduce yourself, write a brief explanation about how you plan to use your time management skills that you've learned at Post or elsewhere to help you complete your written assignments. And then, of course, share your feelings about writing in general, like how are you feeling coming into the class, that sort of stuff. Now, in the second paragraph, you're going to be practicing the narrative and descriptive writing by writing about a place that you like. It says a place that has influenced you in some positive way, and oftentimes people get real hung up on that. And it's like, oh, it has to be someplace super important. It does not have to be any place super important. It can be literally your room. If you feel at home and comfortable in a particular room in your house or a corner in your house or whatever, that can be the perfect place to use for this particular assignment. I, of course, used the title My Grandmother's Kitchen. Grandmother's kitchen rocked. And so I would probably write about my grandmother's kitchen. Anyway, you're using descriptions, so sensory details to paint us a picture, essentially, of the place. Make us feel it. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it hot? Is it, can you feel something on your skin when you're in it? Is there a particular aroma, a smell? Like my grandmother's kitchen, I always associate with bacon. All the senses can come into play, but you want to paint a visual picture more importantly than anything else. Now, the other thing that you'll want to start looking at this term is you're going to get feedback on all your writing assignments, and you're also going to have rubrics that kind of show you how your grade was determined. You have the ability to look at the rubric before you ever turn in the work, so it can help you double check, make sure you're doing everything that you need to be doing. So the discussion board rubrics, the Unit 1 one is a little bit different. We'll go over Unit 2 and how most of them work in the next one, but this will give you, again, kind of that overview of the assignment. And then on page 2, you have the Unit 1. Now, this does show you the other stuff that you're going to be graded on in upcoming discussion boards. But the only thing you have to worry about this week is, did you do your initial post? Is it well written? And is it professional in communications? That's it. That's all you got to worry about for this one. All right. All right. So let's go back to the course. And then we have your formal writing assignment. Now, the discussion boards, you don't have to worry about APA format on the discussion boards. But for the writing assignments, you need to upload a document. It's not something that you should just type in a box. This is something that you should create in Microsoft Word. You can use Google Docs. You can use free programs, but you do need to create a document that you can then save on your computer or on the cloud and then submit it to the assignment. So let's take a look at the Unit 1 assignment. If you want to look at the rubric for that, you can click on the View Rubric box and it will show you. It's also in this. So there's a link here, see Unit 1 assignment, complete instructions and grading rubric. Every one of the formal writing assignments has one of these, and these are super important. I'm going to click on it so you can see it. This is something that honestly, if I were taking this class as a student, I would probably print these out. Because if you have it laying next to you, it is a lot easier to remember to look at it as opposed to having to come back in here and click all of those things. Now, you don't have to print it out, but I would find it to be very helpful to have it printed out. This is your assignment sheet, and it goes over all of the requirements for all of your assignments. And like I said, has the rubric down here as well, so you can take a look at that. But let's go through this assignment in particular. In this unit, you learned about the elements of narrative and descriptive essays. Now, you will write one paragraph that makes use of strong descriptive phrasing of a person or place. The locations and characters in a movie or setting often are compelling because they resonate with the viewer. In your paragraph, you will show how one character, person, or location is significant to you. Write one paragraph about your favorite person. I don't like that they call it character, but I guess it could be a character, or location from a movie or television series. I like to think of them as people. It just, I don't know, it makes it a little bit easier to handle. Consider the following questions when writing this paragraph. What is it about this person or place that makes it so significant? How would you describe that character or location to someone who has not seen the movie? So these are things that you can use, movies, television shows. They can be from any time in history. I would probably honestly write about Willy Wonka. It's still my favorite. Narrative and descriptive writing is a combination of both description and reflection, meaning the meaning behind it. You want to include specific details to show the reader what you are writing about and then reflect on your subject. Remember to use the five senses, typo there, I didn't write this, so I can say that, to allow the subject to come alive for the reader. Now, here's what I was talking about with the document itself. It needs to be a document. You can save it as a Word document or a PDF. The paragraph itself should be at least 7 sentences in length, and the assignment sheet will have the APA style title page. Again, you've got the template to use for that. On page 2, you will have a double-spaced paragraph that is at least 7 sentences for your description and narration. And then it's like it says, you're going to double space. You should also use an APA standard font. Typically, Times New Roman in 12 point is what most people consider standard. But if you use the default for whatever processing program you're using, you're going to be fine. You also want to save this and spend a lot of extra time proofreading and editing and making sure all of those things are as good as they can be. And then when you get it back, I will give you feedback on it. So next week, we will talk about how to access that feedback. Actually, I'll probably post about that in the middle of the week. We'll see how it goes. Typically, you will not get any grades for week 1 until week 2 starts, but it'll be at the very beginning of week 2. So I will kind of play it by ear as far as when you need that information. So that's what you're doing this week. When you are ready to submit that, you're going to come over here and you're going to use the Browse Local Files button. You will then, it'll open up your computer. What is the word I'm looking for? Directory. There you go. I knew there's a word for it. And then you will attach your file. So I'm just going to use this one as a sample. I'm going to click open, and it's going to say, I agree to submit my papers to the global reference database. This is post plagiarism checker. It's also what will mean that you cannot submit the same assignment to the same course a second time. So you really have to be careful about that. We'll talk more about that as the semester goes on, as the term goes on. Once you are done with that, you will click submit. And I'm going to go ahead and do it so you see what it looks like. It'll open this box, and this is what you will be looking at when I give you feedback. So when you get a grade, it's going to show the grade up here, and it's going to show my my comments as well. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I am available pretty much all the time. The fastest way, honestly, is through email. I do have office hours on Tuesday evenings, and you've got my cell phone number that's in my instructor information. If you need me live and in person, well, on Zoom, but if you need me on a Tuesday night, if you text me, tell me what class you're in, we can hop on the Zoom. I typically don't leave the Zoom open because if nobody's in it, it kind of times in and out. It's a little bit frustrating, but I'm for sure available on Tuesday evenings. We can also probably work out other times if you need an appointment. So welcome. Good luck. I promise you, you can do this. And the most important thing is, oh, it's going to do that little weird thing. It's wanting me to, I kind of like that. Look, I have an emoji. Um, It's so weird. Sometimes Zoom does the most amazing things. I think you can also do a hi. Yep. Try that when you're out in Zoom land. Anyway, you guys have a great week and please reach out if you need help. I promise you can do this. You just need to keep working on following directions and making sure you ask questions when you have them. So I will see you next Monday or Sunday night, and I'll talk to you between now and then. So everybody take care. Have a great day.